Some Republicans are furious over these pet projects in the relief measure, but are also struggling to derail it with the $1.9 trillion bill moving on the fast track through Congress. North Carolina Republican Congressman Madison Cawthorn joins me now. Congressman, great to see you. Wall Street Journal editorial board out with a piece on this as well. And I just want to read this to you because they say, all told, this generous definition of COVID-related provisions tallies some $825 billion. The rest of the bill, more than $1 trillion, a combination of bailouts for Democratic constituencies, expansions of progressive programs, pork, and unrelated policy changes. At the end, they write here, please don't call it COVID relief. Your thoughts?
Well, Jackie, it's great to finally get interviewed by you, but I wanted to let you know that this is something I ran on in my last congressional race here in North Carolina. I said we need to have one subject, one bill. Let's stop having these giant bills that go under the name of things like COVID relief, but then end up just being a Democratic wish list. You see that Joe Biden has put inside of this bill, and Nancy Pelosi, that they're trying to actually subsidize illegal immigration by sending stimulus checks to illegal immigrants. This is money that should be going to paycheck protection programs and helping small businesses that are actually struggling, not this Democratic wish list.
And it's interesting because the $15 minimum wage has been the one that's caused a lot of outrage, and President Biden has backed away from it, yet it's still in the bill.
It's absurd. A $15 minimum wage doesn't do anything to actually solve the poverty issue. All it does is make our dollars worth less, and will just hide people who are actually impoverished and make them suffer to actually find any help. And also what this will do is it will destroy small businesses like the tourism industry in my district that relies on paying people near minimum wage or $10 an hour. But then when they have to hike up to $15 an hour, they'll have to let off the majority of their employees.
And what about, some of the provisions in there for blue states that you could argue mismanaged their budgets throughout the pandemic, and now we're sort of getting a sympathy play out of this $1.9 trillion package. You know, the money doesn't come from nowhere. It doesn't grow on trees. We do have to pay it back at some point, even if this administration doesn't have to worry about it.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. And this is typical of all Democrats. What they want to do is make people who have poorly managed their personal assets have to be bailed out by people who did take the time to be fiscally responsible. So states like Tennessee or states like Florida and Texas will have to bail out blue states like California and New York. It's the exact same argument they're using for student loan forgiveness, where they're going to make the plumber who has gone and learned a trade, who's actually contributing to our economy, have to bail out people who are too far in debt to actually make a living.
And what about the stimulus checks we know are on the table, but also the expansion and the extension of the unemployment, the boosted up benefits that people will receive? You know, we are in a recovery phase right now. There are people out there, Dr. McCary, saying that, for example, we're going to reach herd immunity by April, that this is going to be better quicker than we thought it will. Why do we have to extend those benefits for quite so long? I mean, people have gotten really comfortable not working.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I know a lot of people in my district, employers, are struggling to find employees to come back into the workforce because they're currently making more money sitting at home with their families than they would if they were actually rejoining the workforce. The problem is all of these are just Band-Aids. They don't actually fix any of the problems, and we're going to face economic downturn if we continue spending money like it grows on trees.
Great to see you, Congressman. Really appreciate your insight today. Thanks for coming on.